Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk think show that shows without and proves. And we're in that time space now. It proves that the so-called African American didn't come to America locked in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the indigenous one. And you know, this shit is getting old, y'all. It's getting old. It's like we're not getting it. I mean, a plant, a plant, a blueberry tree, some greens, anything you plant in the soil, when you come out the next day, it's gonna look different. That's if you have a puppy, a new kitten, it's gonna grow. And it's gonna grow and it's gonna go through the cycle. Then it's gonna get out of here and start again somewhere else. That's life. That's what the moon shows you. That's what the looking at the plants, crops show you. Everything that's here to teach us, we don't learn it. We don't pay attention to the natural world. We pay attention to what anybody shows us over that fucking TV. And that's how we live our life. That's what the African American lives off of. Remember, the African American is a genetically modified organism. Anybody, I can show that. We can prove it. It will take me less than a minute. But see, I don't want to hear that because you want to keep playing these dumbass games. Really? This doesn't look like. So for the people that can see, and I know many of y'all can see it, this doesn't look like the Rodney King riots or repeat. Same shit. Just had a cat call me talking about he got a picture of a brother on a horse, stealing a horse. Look, man, we got a horse. What does that mean? I mean, huh? Why do we keep doing the same shit over and over and over? You're not tired of it because December 2021, you out giving them all your money. Now you hate them. You still go by the calendar he gives you because you won't come up with your own way of looking at time. This message is for the indigenous people of America, people who parents were born from America. They didn't come from nowhere else. That's who this is for. If you're a foreigner, you understand what I'm saying because your parents would tell you the same thing. But here in America, we have loved the world to everybody, and now anybody can come get in our shit and take it over. And the so-called African American is the main one who will cheer it on. The African American, they're the people that the black people gave birth to. Black people aren't indigenous people either. Black people are genetically modified organism. That's why what you saw the black people doing in the 60s, you're seeing their grandchildren do today. Imagine all that time wasted. Imagine all that money we have paid to these foreigners from 1960 to now. I'll wait after you wake up from your fainting spell. It's staggering. The amount of money a nation full of people in North America have given. They didn't take it. You gave it to them gleefully, kicking your heels, laughing, shaking your ass, doing it. Now all of a sudden, you don't like that system no more. Same thing. This is what I mean. This is why I say African Americans ain't Africans, y'all. And we don't get it. We never get it. The Negro never gets anything. Huh? I mean, they got people out there 75, 80 years old protesting like that's doing something. How is that going to get your land back? How is that going to make it where you educate your children? This shit should have been done 30 years ago. And whatever today news is, whatever anybody splashes across the television set, we go for it. Dogs aren't as obedient. This is where we are. If anybody sends me anything else about this riot, coronavirus, confusion, I'm gonna vomit. You really? I mean, nobody ever thinks about anything. And so, what a nurse asked me last night, this sister was in tears. I was like, well, why are you crying? She said, I just can't believe how we can always be took like that. I mean, we just fall for anything. I'm like, well, what do you mean? She goes, well, as a nurse, when a person dies, the spirit leaves their body. She calls it spirit. I say it's energy. The energy leaves the body and the body starts to cool down. She said on the tape with the guy who was supposed to get killed, when they put him on the gurney, he was sweating profusely. I didn't know. Huh? What you mean? And I'm like telling her, we're not into that. The African American is into being told what to do. The African American doesn't think ever, never. He sits in front of the TV, waits for that commercial to come on to be told what to do. These genetically modified organisms, you see them still in TVs. Dude, you don't think what is that doing? Now that you have stole a bigger TV to be programmed more, how is that? I mean, what does that do? And the Negroes, the churches, none of them never have nothing. This is where we are today. So get a call from a brother and he says, well, where do we go from here? I'm like, where do you think you go from here? You'll just be, more will be eliminated. See, they can't do an all-out Hitler scene for the people here. They have to do it slowly but surely. And the best way to kill the Negro is to kill the mind. It's called menticide. Bobby Wright, look him up. You have people who have been giving you instructions, what to do, simple. They don't take 5 and 6 and 7 hours. They tell you in a couple of minutes, hey, you want to tear down all these Wendy's? Stop going to those and go to Keisha's. Do a Keisha burger. Come up with your own thing. Leave them alone because they don't support you like you support them. We ain't got nothing. Then build something. Use your ingenuity. Use your intelligence. Use what you have. But black people have no intelligence. Because there's no such thing as a black person. You've never seen a black person. So those people don't exist. So something that doesn't exist doesn't have any intelligence. They don't breathe. They're nothing. They're nothing. Black means nothing. That's the literal definition. And we have sunk all our emotions and way of thinking and into that. And if a black person walked up on you today, you would piss your pants because they don't exist. And to let somebody keep labeling you as that's the cold part about it. You don't even come up with a fucking definition for yourself. For real, cuz? For real? Yeah. You don't do it. So, expect what the people out there in those streets. Don't be surprised if you hear a lot of, negative things, because these people should know. You have brothers and sisters out there, and I want to give a shout out to the young brothers and sisters who are out there in the street exposing this stuff. You got brothers and sisters out there. This shit is simple, and it's why do you have bricks set up everywhere where nothing's being built? I mean, these are what the young people are asking. What are we doing? Why are the people in Antifa or whatever that organization who George Soros pays, why are they begging for their money now? We want our money. See, those people are sent out there to spy on you. So when you do stupid shit, they'll go back and get them and they will point you out. But we don't get it. We never get it. Just do the same old shit over and over. And that's what I mean about genetically modified organisms. You know, these people, they don't think. They're programmed. And that's what that TV is for. The TV is the MK Ultra right in your home, right in your pocket. That's how it's gotten in weed. I didn't know. I don't know what you mean. We never know nothing. That's one thing, how you easily identify an African American. You'll realize off the bat that they don't know shit. They talk good. They've learned to use diction well, and the circumference of the perpendicular line is accustomed to. That's how they talk, real good. You know, like that preacher talk. If they sound good, and that's what we into, how it sounds. But they never listen to what these cats say. That's how you know you're dealing with an African American, because they follow people. They don't, and what it normally ends up is not in the best interest of what they're talking about. Where are the black preachers now? Where's Jesus? Can I get a witness? Where's all that shit? That's out the window, because this is what we normally talk all day long. If I sit and talk to family members and not hear Jesus one more time, I'm serious. I've removed myself from those situations because that's what they do. So now, while this is going on, I ask them, well, where's Jesus? And they get mad at me. They still love Jesus, but they mad at me. These are African Americans. These are black people. These are Negroes. This is where we are. And to watch and to have your kids brought up on this shit, really, y'all? This is, I mean, seriously. Seriously. This is mind boggling. And we don't even see it. No, now, not everybody doesn't see it, because many of you see it. You know what I'm saying is true. Really? Shouldn't we be building our cities now? Shouldn't we, all this energy that and I'm talking about energy that we're taking in, learning this shit, because it's everywhere. So cut off the TVs, get rid of them. Shouldn't we be building our own cities now? Shouldn't we be building our own cars now? Shouldn't we be putting up centers where our children can learn the best to make this a better place, on what Earth is, our relationship to the Earth, our relationship to the water sources, our relationship to the trees, our relationship to the soil. What is our purpose here? Why are we here? What are our grandparents do? What are our children going to do? Shouldn't we be figuring that shit out? Shouldn't we be figuring that out? And here we are listening to these devils. As usual, those are called genetically modified organisms. And you're going to have to get to the point on the fact, or if not, just move on, because what I was told to pass on to you is that the people who are the African Americans, the people who keep playing these games, it's best to get out of their way. Let them go ahead and do what they do. And you indigenous Americans, and what I mean by indigenous Americans, people who, when you look at the first dictionary published in this country, and they talk about Americans. Americans is not Americans, it's Americans. And that's the soul people. That's you. I mean, listen, this stuff is right at your face. 95% of us should be knowing this information. It's right in our face. I'm not bringing nothing new. I'm just passing on the message to hopefully stop us from being wiped out. All you got to do is go look at the first dictionary published, and they're describing you. But you want to be Muslim, what's that? Hoteps, Egyptians, and you was doing shit over here way greater than that. You see how we are? We ate out of everybody else's mouth. Anybody can come tell us anything, and we with it. Here's Farrakhan. Somebody sent me something on Farrakhan yesterday. I'm like, damn, dude, don't send me no shit like this. Farrakhan picks up a Quran. You're going to tell me that you're going to pick up a book from Pakistan that you got from that you learned everything you learned from a Pakistani. You bring it over here to America, teach the people whatever that is, but don't teach them what their people taught them. You don't tell them to go get the information from their people, but you don't tell them to do that. You tell them to take on a foreign ideologies, and these shines do it. And you wonder why Chicago is the death capital of America. This is the one time the type of shit I'm trying to tell y'all. This is how you're taken apart. You never think for yourself. You never have your own ideas. You get your ideologies from Islam, Egyptians, and those are people whose earth was burnt. What happened to Egypt? All you have to do is ask your Egyptologists, all these geniuses and scholars who you have your head up their ass, ask them what happened to Egypt. Egypt used to look like Louisiana. The Nile River used to, the Nile River, leaving all this silt and all the minerals in the world right there at the mouth in Cairo to make it a lush place. It's kind of like if you, here in America, the closest I can say to Egypt planet-wise is New Orleans. You know, New Orleans, you know, when it gets hot, you know, that foliage traps in all that heat. Everything from Canada rolls down the middle United States and it goes into the Gulf of Mexico, which is right there at New Orleans. That's how Egypt used to be. Now, for the thinking person, not the African American, because they don't think, you would say, well, dang, what happened to Egypt? How did it used to look like that? But now it's dead. Nothing grows there. But when you look at the old images of Egypt and the old pictures, they had foliage that could talk. Go look at the Egyptian, look at all that stuff. They had plants that had powers. They had plants that were taller than the people. What happened? This is what you ask Dr. Bean and all these people they put in front of you that tell you, these Egyptologists. All you have to do is ask some questions and see how fast they turn on your ass. What happened to Egypt if it was so great? How'd they get dried out? How'd one of the greatest civilizations ever get to the point they're at now? And how do they have your dumb ass running over there trying to suck up all that stuff? And everybody's running over to your home taking your stuff, and you know nothing about it. You're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for that. So how can people from other places come tell you that that's your home? How can Farrakhan come tell you stuff about Islam that has nothing to do with you? And he's not even from here. He's from down there in the Caribbean. What would I look like going down to the Caribbean, down to Trinidad or whatever island Farrakhan is from, and tell those people about the history of their people? What would I look like? But anybody can come tell the Negro here anything. And you know what the Negro will do? Yeah, boss. Yeah, oh, yes, sir. That's the Negro. That's the African American. That's the black person. That's what they do. Anybody can tell them anything. It's like that with the Marcus Garvey. Negro still on that. Marcus Garvey, they kicked his ass out of Jamaica because the Jamaicans wasn't going for that. The indigenous Jamaicans wasn't going for that. He came here. Guess what? Guess what the Negro here did? sent, I don't know what the dollar amount would be in today's dollars, but I bet you it's close to $1 trillion. Let these Negroes tell it. This is how we're controlled. All the information come down, and they have players. They take, and it's normally a foreign dude, because that's how they get into America. They have to do something to get into America because they're being sponsored. That's all that's happening. You can't go to Africa and get into their CIA, can you? Well, since it's a one world thing now, you probably can. And this is where we are. So this is my suggestion. You gotta do it for self, y'all. Stop having more Chinese products in your house than stuff that you made, because you enrich China. I mean, these are things we should get. You think Chinese people have anything that you created, that the people who live in America created? No. Damn near, I bet you damn near everyone listening has 90% Chinese stuff made in their house in Chinese. What does that do to us? What is that? What is that? And this is how we're took every time. Every time. And if somebody's come and say, yo man, listen, maybe we shouldn't be in that Nation of Islam stuff, because maybe that makes what our parents taught, maybe that makes that null and void. We don't have no scholars to tell us that, do we? So this is what I mean. When you look at America, from Alaska, all that ice up there, Canada, Greenland, North America, Mexico, the Caribbean, South America, going down to the South Pole, that's America. What we doing? How come we're not running the copper mines? Huh? So when the Negro always talk about, we need to get into the stock market. No, dude, you need to control the resources on your home. See, this is what we should be doing. How we think, I can be what I want to be, nigga. I can do what I want to do. That attitude, you see what position it's gotten us in. Anytime you see a fool dressed up like the people who dominate you, they're a fool. You don't look good in a suit. You look stupid. How come you don't have any? You don't make clothes. How come you don't make clothes to sell them to the world? It's a few out there, but they're negligent compared to what we do, where we buy our stuff from. How come you the cotton industry, that's your industry. How come you're not doing clothes with cotton and hemp blends? Why aren't you Negroes doing that? Why aren't the black universities teaching this type? So this is for the Americans, the people born of America. When America creates people, they create you. See, all nature creates everything. This is something that's simple. We should know. We don't. We think standing up is some pussy. That's our claim to fame. This is the Negro in America today. And these ain't the young cats. These the old fools. This is where we are. You have a lot of intelligent young people out here. They have skills, but they need to let those skills out. We have to support them. I know we used to supporting the Asians and the Africans and everybody else, but your children are the ones who need support from you, because that will lift them up. We can't keep screwing this up, y'all. We can't keep clowning. We can't keep shucking and jiving. We can't keep being dumb. And when I say dumb, I'm being, because goddamn, really? So all this burning and looting going on, it's a joke. It's to have you put in a certain place, trying to make you look bad. But you see, most of the people who are rioting aren't you. They're the ones that's going to snitch on you. And you can see it's a lot of us that has gotten out of it. A lot of us aren't out there, which is cool. You want to riot? Stop supporting them. Damn. Then you can come in and rent the spot or buy the spot where they were working at for pennies. Because all these places flourish because you support them. You don't support yourselves. So since you don't support yourselves, where is all that energy going? Where's all that? And all I see is us supporting them and arrogant about it. That's the only thing that pisses me off. We're arrogant about it. I can do what I want to do. Yeah, okay. Okay. If you look at the Georgia Guidestones, if you look at the teachings of Margaret Sanger and her people and their plans for the indigenous Americans, all this dumb talking that we do, all this bullshit that we do, all this shit we do to hurt each other and dog each other out, you're helping them and you know it. And remember this, and I'm going to go ahead and close on this. What you do, everything that you do, comes back to you. And what you're seeing, and when you start seeing a lot of Negroes get up out of here, don't be dismayed. Don't be downtrodden, because remember, they got to have us vibrating at a low frequency. They got to have this low vibrating at a low frequency. That's why you support the youth, because they're trying to create. And if you go ahead and support them, we're vibrating at a high frequency. A high frequency. So start thinking. Start using that ingenuity that we all have, but for some reason we pretend like we don't have it. Oh, we only have it for boss. Your children are watching and waiting. Let's get busy. Peace.